I'm Leonard Nimoy. Join me for In Search of
an Argument.
All messed up.
Hi, welcome to In Search of an Argument. I'm Peggy, and I'm happy to be here with some fellow podcasters. Sadly, we're missing our co-host, Beth, but next time, hopefully she will join us again. But in her place, we have a super duper special guest, and it is one of my nieces. This is Molly. Molly, welcome to the podcast.
Hey
Woo!
guys.
Yay.
So Molly had the
Welcome.
pleasure of dealing with a lot of our technical difficulties before we started this one, but I think we got it squared away. So thanks for your patience, Molly.
It's okay.
Okay, good. No big plans on a Sunday evening. All right. Well, we all had the pleasure, except for Shelly, unfortunately, to meet each other at, well, Jim and Beth and John met Molly for the first time at the Mellencamp, John Mellencamp concert that took place maybe 3 weeks ago. I can't even remember, here in Grand Rapids at that brand new Acrisure Theater. And we all kind of hit it off and we had a really good time at the concert. And so I guess that's what we're talking about, maybe, and then see where the conversation goes. Shelly is totally qualified to join this conversation for a variety of reasons, but especially because she's seen Mellencamp multiple times.
And I'm the only one that lives in Indiana.
Yes, but you are not the only born and bred Hoosier.
No.
And I hate to
I'm
start
the
with
longest
this,
lived
but the fact that you live in Indiana is substantial and important because John Mellencamp is from Indiana. We have a very large international audience, including some that have no idea where Indiana is. So we need to make sure we give some context there. So maybe does anyone want to start with that? Who is John Mellencamp?
Who is John Mellencamp? Well, I don't feel like I'm qualified to say too much, but I will say that some of us who are old enough, we remember that he used to go by John Cougar Mellencamp, and he is from not Bloomington, Indiana,
Seymour.
but Seymour, Indiana. Very close to Bloomington, Indiana. Shelly and I both went to IU, as some of you know, and he has quite a presence in Bloomington. He's donated lots of money there, so there's facilities named after him. He's a big fan. IU just had a great football season last season, and he was in attendance for many of those football games. In fact, I saw a whole piece on 60 Minutes about all that, and they highlighted that they gave him his own spot up in the like, I don't know what you call it. It's not the press booth, but it was private, so he could smoke because you're not allowed to smoke at any of those things anymore. And we saw him.
So
smoke at the
I thought maybe
concert.
he did that for fake. He actually
Oh
smokes.
no!
Oh, yeah,
He's a real smoker.
Hardcore.
Good for him.
Years and years and years. Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
So I guess I don't know if that's enough info of a background of him for our international listeners, even though I think a lot of our international listeners would know who he is.
So he's was inducted into the Hall of Fame, Music Hall of Fame. I think that's into Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and then the Songwriters Similar Award Hall of Fame. I think there was 10-year difference between he went into Rock and Roll Hall of Fame first and then Songwriters, and he's really if you live in Indiana or grew up in Indiana or went to school at IU, sometimes you'd see him around campus. He would cruise through campus when campus isn't as locked down as it was then, as like it is now. And sometimes he would show up in bars on campus, and he just sings from like, and you will all get into the songs, but he just sings from like a visceral kind of thing, like, just like grassroots kind of hardship, farmland, growing up in a small town, like kind of things like that are the core of his lyrics for his songs. It's always resonated with me.
So I want to jump in and ask Molly a question right away. Jim, you're still muted, so you're going to have to unmute yourself for us to hear you. But
On
Molly,
the bottom of the screen, Jim. It's on the bottom of the screen. Where
So
your
you-
name is. Next to your name, there's three little things. There's three little icons, and one of them is a mute. You have to unmute. That's the
That's camera.
video. You turned off your video. Turn your video back on. Now you said you have something to say.
There you
It's
go.
the other
Oh,
one.
forget it.
Now
I
you're
don't
on.
remember.
Now you're on, but your gain is way too high, Jim. Your gain's way too high. Now you're deafening. You're deafening now.
Now, how do
Too
I
high.
sound?
Way too high. Way too high. Way too
You
high.
might not need the mic, do you?
How
No,
is
he
that?
needs the mic. Way down.
Okay.
Keep going. Down, down.
How is that?
No, you're turning the volume button, not the gain button. I have a feeling.
Is this better?
It's terrible. Still too loud.
Or
Way too loud.
hold it away from your face a little more.
Well, no, just turn the gain down.
Okay.
I've turned the gain like practically all the way down.
You're turning the volume all the way down. Turn the other knob. The other knob.
How is that?
Way better.
much better.
Super good.
Okay, Jim, you go ahead. You work the hardest.
I
You-
can't even remember what I was going to ask.
Okay, then I'll keep going with mine. I want to talk to Molly about. So Molly, if I remember correctly, you weren't really planning on going to the concert necessarily, but I think your parents maybe had an extra ticket. Did you know?
Ah.
Yeah.
So it just
Yes.
worked out that way. How much do
So-
you know about? Yeah, tell us about why you were there.
Yeah, so my mom was originally supposed to be burying her grandpa, my great grandpa, in California that weekend, but my grandma, her mom fell, and so then that trip got canceled. So then she was like able to go. So it was supposed to be my mom and my dad. And then comes to day of concert, my mom's like, so there might be some extra tickets if you do want to go. I was planning on taking my mom's place when she wasn't supposed to go. Then she took her place back, which I was like, whatever, that's fine. So then I took it again and I snuck my way into this concert. And honestly, I didn't know that many songs a little over a year ago until I started working with like my patient community, and I was doing therapeutic recreation, taking them out in the community and having to play all their favorite musics while we're like in the car driving. And I'm like, oh, this is kind of good. So then I started like listening to all these songs on my own, John Cougar Mellencamp being one of them. So that's how I found my way to the concert.
And now that I
Oh,
think about
nice.
it, I think you took Shelly's ticket.
Oh, I totally probably did.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
good,
that's how you got
good.
there. If I remember, I
Yes.
forgot that at first.
That
'cause
is
we had an
exactly what
extra
happened.
ticket. Okay.
That's awesome.
Shelly,
The
how
whole
many
bloody
times
thing
have
was
you...
Felly's idea, and then it was great. So this is a perfect
No,
closing
it wasn't
of the
Shelly's
loop.
idea. It was
Oh,
Beth's
I want
idea,
to.
I think.
The story's better this way.
Yeah,
well.
never let the truth
Shelly, how
make
many
the
times
story.
have you seen Mellencamp?
Only once. Oh, yeah, only once, and that
Really?
was at Bloomington. I had never had an
But you're
opportunity
like
to
the
see him in
hugest
concert.
Mellencamp fan
I
in the
know.
world.
I know almost all the lyrics to almost every song. I listen to it still to this day. I have it on my playlist when I'm kayaking. But I just the opportunity never really presented itself, or I didn't take advantage of it. And so, yeah, when I went with Peg 2 years ago,
So Peg has actually
Bloomington.
seen him twice, and you've only seen him once.
Yeah.
Who knew?
So
Yep.
what's the difference between the two appearances, Peg?
Well, first of all, we saw him on the opening night of his last tour, and it was it's in a very small venue on IU's campus. So that was kind of cool. And he kicked off his concert there, but he was kind of crabby, and people were
Famously.
yelling things like "play blah blah blah," and he got mad, and I don't know if I'm getting this exactly correctly, and I know I'm not allowed to swear on the podcast.
You are
but
allowed to swear. You're definitely allowed to
he
swear.
was like, I fucking have a new album. I want to play my new shit, and so we didn't know the songs, and so we weren't as into it. So that is, and then this one, I have heard some people call it a redemption tour because he knew he was
He
kind
got
of
feedback.
a jerk.
He got
Yeah.
What do you
feedback.
think about this theory that because Indiana had such a great football season, he's in a good mood, and that's why he's like in a good mood for this tour?
No, I don't think that's I don't think that's it.
Maybe
I-
he was. He
I-
did seem in a good mood.
He did seem in a good mood.
I
He looked like
think
he was having a good time.
I think
definitely
he's
looked like he was
just. I think he wanted to try something different as an artist and blend in more of his new stuff. And it was obvious the one that Peggy and I were there a couple years ago. The crowd really got into it when he played his old songs. But when his new
course.
songs, everybody sat down. Everybody was quiet. It wasn't his voice wasn't the same caliber on the new songs as the
Right.
old,
Sure.
and it's not so much as
He
you
sang
didn't know
about
the
the
words.
kids getting off his lawn, and he sang about
Yeah. And I heard he got a lot of bad, like, hey, dude, if you want to, keep your name, your reputation, you need to lay off some of the political stuff or some of, play more of your your old stuff. So, I mean, that's kind of what I heard. I don't know if others did.
That's true. He did have a political stance at that, and he's definitely, if you're going to go with like stereotyping, he doesn't necessarily, his political values don't necessarily jive with some small town Indiana, Southern, whatever. So maybe some of the people in the audience were also not wild about some of the stuff he was saying.
He was a little political in Grand Rapids. The opening song was definitely political.
Yeah, overtly and like
Yeah.
contemporarily political.
Yeah.
Although Jim pointed out to me the contradiction of the song in the first
Yes,
minute,
but
5
that's
minutes.
another story. But that's another. That's something no one else wants to hear about, John. Molly, who is your favorite music act these days?
That's hard.
It's
Lately,
not John Mellencamp. Give us a couple. Who are a couple of your favorite?
a couple of my favorites right now. I don't know if you guys have seen Audrey Hobart. She sings "Sue Me." It's like super popular right now. And there's this other song that she sings called "Silver Jubilee," and it's so cute. And one of the lyrics, she's like, "I'm gonna tell my sister all your secrets. I'm gonna tell my sister she's perfect." Like, it's just a cute little, Audrey Hobart. She's so cute. And she's such a fun performer. Like, she's just jumping around the stage, like on a trampoline, like just having fun. Who else? My brother.
John Mellencamp would be well advised not to try jumping on a trampoline. That
No, he
could
might,
end
like, his
tragically
lungs
at
might.
his age. Go ahead.
My brother and I just booked tickets to go see a rapper, J. Cole. He quotes him as like the greatest rapper of all time. So we're gonna go see him in Detroit, which is gonna be super cool. I really like Tyler, the Creator. He's super fun. I saw him in Chicago July last summer. I've also been to Lollapalooza. I love concerts.
All right. Who was at Lollapalooza when you were there?
Tyler, the Creator, Post Malone. Foo Fighters were there.
Okay. Old People's Act. There you go.
Who else did we see? It was honestly, Lollapalooza is so intense. It's like, I know I had such a good time, but every stage has so much going on. It's like, okay, I just listened to like EDM and now I'm going to go listen to Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
Or it's like, okay, I want to go sit at this stage forever because I want to see the very last act. But the first like 10 people, you have no idea who they are. It's just a crazy experience and you get to know so many different like music genres. So
I went to Lollapalooza in 2008. Long time ago.
Who
And
performed
before
then?
it was at it was in Grant Park, right, Jim?
Great
Oh, right.
question,
Way before that.
Molly. Who performed?
It was no, I think it was in Grant Park.
Was it
Pretty
in
sure.
Grant Park? Because
Yeah.
the first Lollapalooza was not, right?
I didn't think
This
so.
was not the first Lollapalooza.
Okay.
I guarantee you.
The first
I've never
Lollapalooza.
been to Lollapalooza. Have you?
It's
Peggy?
Nor have I, and
The
I'm
thing-
from Chicago.
I like about those things is that you get to see a bunch of musical acts.
Right.
John and I went in about, what was that? That was about 10 years ago, maybe more. We went to go see the Riot Fest in Chicago, and we saw Blondie and the Replacements and
Ooh.
Blink 182 and Joan Jett,
Ooh,
Public
that's good.
Enemy. The
Riot
Pixies.
Fest is still happening in Chicago, and it still has big acts. Although
Yeah.
Morrissey was there this year, so I was like, and I don't go to concerts, but it's still around.
Yeah,
Riot Fest
John.
is still around.
John doesn't go to concerts, but I sort of hornswoggled him into going to that one. So
Jim,
Yeah.
do you remember who you saw? Molly asked who you saw in 2008.
I was
Yeah.
trying to remember. I know Blues Traveler was there. That was actually the act I was most interested in. The 9 Inch Nails was the headliner one night.
Wow, in 2008 they were.
Yeah.
Just by the way, the first Lollapalooza was July 18th, 1991.
Wow.
And it was created by Perry Farrell for Jane's Addiction, his band at the time. And the bands that played at Lollapalooza, the very first one, Jane's Addiction, 9 Inch Nails, Susie and the Banshees, Living Color, Ice-T, Butthole
Wow.
Surfers, Rollins Band, and
Wow.
Fishbone. And it was all Perry Farrell. It was Perry Farrell singing. I remember that. And it came to Chicago after he, I think, unloaded the IP rights to it. But it was in Arizona, and I knew it was a Jane's Addiction thing.
I did
But
not
I've
know
never
that.
been. I've never been, and I have to say, it has got to be every year we have people staying with us who are going to Lollapalooza because it's very close to our house, and it's just massive, and I think it probably attracts a majority of out of state people. I mean, it's a national, international event.
So
It's
Molly,
massive.
when you went, how did it work? Do you buy like a ticket and it's good for the day, or it's good for the whole thing? Or
You can do it all, but it's hard because they don't release like the lineup like of the people. Well, they say who's going, but they don't say who's going on what day. So you can get like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like individual each day pass, but it's hard to choose which one because it's like, okay, I want to see John Summit, but you don't know if he's going to be Friday, Saturday, whenever.
Yeah, you're better off just buying a 3-day pass.
Exactly.
And if you end up not wanting to go one of the days, you can usually sell it to somebody who wants it.
So we got the wristbands. We got the 4-day wristbands, and we did it all.
The other people that were big was Kanye was there, although I have limited interest in Kanye, but he was there.
It was before he became hated.
Before he became the
He's already on his way, in my opinion. But
no, but he hadn't done the.
Maybe he hadn't done. I don't know. He keeps
2008.
doing more, but I wasn't a big fan of his at the time already. But
Peg, what are you gonna say?
I want to ask Molly again. So, like, when you did it last year. So
no, I did it in 2021.
Okay, so you weren't 21 years old yet.
No, I wasn't.
And so, how does it work as far as like, do you have to get a hotel a year in advance or 6 months in advance? Like, how does all that work?
I'm pretty sure it's depends on like how into Lollapalooza you are. Like, there's definitely people who are like their hotels are booked and they don't even know who's going. They just want to go because they like Lollapalooza. We decided to go. I think it was like May or June. It happens like first weekend in August usually. And we booked like a Holiday Inn, 2 hotel rooms, and everybody just packed it all in because I just finished my senior year of high school.
Wow.
So
yeah.
How far in advance then? Did you do it like in May when you graduated? And then...
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say it was like just a couple months, 3 months in advance.
So it wasn't that hard then to
not
get a
too
room.
terrible.
No, it actually wasn't, which I was
Okay.
surprised.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've been. Isn't that weird? I saw Liz Phair at something in Grant Park. Would it be Taste of Chicago? Would it be Lollapalooza?
Liz
I
Phair
definitely
played
didn't.
in Chicago a lot. She's from the North Shore.
It was outside,
She's from
and I mean, I
Wilmette or
definitely
something.
didn't do like a 3-day whatchamacallit. So I don't know. I think I'd remember if I'd been, don't you?
I think
Yeah.
Molly,
I would.
if you could pick one musical act that you've never seen live in person, you would want to see, who is it?
Okay, this is gonna be there's 2.
All right.
One's alive, one's not alive.
Okay.
Oh.
So the none not alive, that may be harder. But go ahead.
The first one is Frank Ocean, and he performed at Coachella.
I saw your shirt. For those of us who are watching on video,
Frank Ocean. I actually have heard
he's
Frank
so cool.
Ocean, and not in live, but he's good.
Yeah.
He's good.
I really love his music. And then the other one is Mac Miller, but he overdosed in like 2018. So dreams are crushed there.
Dreams denied.
Yes.
I don't think
Bummer.
I've never heard of that guy, Mac Miller. I've never heard of
No,
J.
I haven't.
Cole. I've never heard of Audrey Roberts or whatever you said her name was.
Over, you'd like her, Peggy.
Okay, I gotta get cooler.
Do you listen to Nico Case, Molly?
I do not. I do
Okay.
not, but I'll write.
See, you
write
guys
it
need
down.
to trade some music. You and your aunt need to do some music trading.
I will.
I don't know. People don't make mixtapes anymore, but that would be the classic sort of.
Spotify
Do you
playlist.
have, I was gonna say, do you
Spotify
have Spotify,
playlist.
you just share your lips
Yeah.
playlist.
Yeah.
That's
It's easier than ever.
best thing.
When's this concert in Detroit that you're going to?
We bought tickets 2 days ago, and it's Not this weekend, but next weekend.
Oh, you're getting it in right under the wire.
I know. Headed into my last week in Grand Rapids, doing
And
the
then
last
you're
Michigan
off
thing.
to tell everyone. I know you told us at the concert, but tell our vast listening audience where you're off to.
I am off to Madison, Wisconsin to be a master's and doctoral candidate at Wisconsin-Madison.
In
Ian.
what?
Crazy.
What area?
Well, first I'm going to do a master's in public health, and then the next 3 after that first year, I'll do physical therapy.
And you know why those are smart things to go into is because as the population gets older and older, there is more need for that stuff.
Yeah, there will always be work for me.
So that brings me back to when you said your clients at your summer gig that you had, or it wasn't a
Yeah. I
summer
wanted to
gig,
ask
it was
about
a
that
whole
too.
year. So
Yeah.
they actually said, would you say something like, what music do you guys want to hear? And somebody would say, John Mellencamp. And that's,
Yeah.
you put it on the radio or you put it on your...
I would put it on my phone. Well, I did some like pool therapy, and then I was like playing games with people, like cribbage with a hint of music on the side to kill the awkward silence, you know? So I'm actually an Apple Music user, so I would go on Apple Music and I would play like
Fair
classic rock essentials or like 80s, 90s. Sometimes we had our 70s hits too. And yeah, it was just the background music. The one thing that was like, this is just, you know, first world problems. We use Sirius XM. I've grown up with Sirius XM in the cars. And also I grew up in Connecticut, so I don't know any of the like Grand Rapids, Michigan, whatever radio stations. And so when I would be driving people, they'd be like, can we listen to, you know, whatever this radio station? And I'm like, what are the numbers? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, right.
What's your favorite Sirius XM channel?
It ranges. My parents, I really like when they put on the John Mayer radio station, or my personal favorite is the Coffee House. Just some
Yeah,
like good
Coffee House is
acoustic
good.
vibes. Yeah, there's a lot of good ones on there.
So how many
honestly.
concerts have you seen this year?
This year?
Yeah. Like, what's your run rate?
That's tough because we have Meyer Gardens. So I've seen, I want to say 3 concerts at Meyer Gardens, and actually this Thursday I'm seeing Matt Kearney at Meyer Gardens. So I think we're up to like maybe it'll be a total of 5 or 6 concerts this summer.
Who else did you see at Acrisure besides Mellencamp?
That was the only. Dave Matthews Band.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like,
okay.
wait, I forgot.
he's
Yeah,
still
Dave Matthews
touring.
Band. That was super fun.
It's good you're going to all these concerts because I hear in Madison, Wisconsin, they have no music whatsoever.
None.
Yeah, there'll be nothing to do there.
Not-
Yeah,
Nothing
you'll have
fun.
Madison, Wisconsin. What a terrible place to have to spend time.
I know,
right?
seriously.
So
I'm just gonna be
rough,
stuck
rough.
inside.
Rough.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's just awful.
It's gonna be no fun.
We're all jealous.
So-
We're all
so just-
jealous, Molly.
So give me the lay of the land of the venues in Grand Rapids. So the biggest venue, if somebody came to Grand Rapids, they'd play at, I assume, like some stadium.
Yeah, Van Andel Arena. It's like where we
Which
have like
is-
our hockey games.
Okay.
They all kinds of people come to Van Andel. And then yeah, Acrisure is new. That one's pretty cool. Curious who's gonna come next year.
Mhm.
Yeah, Meyer Gardens is
Meyer-
a much smaller venue.
Like what? Like when you say much smaller, but that the Acrisure place we went was what, 18,000? Did we do the math? We
I
looked
think
it up.
we looked it
didn't
up. It was 12, maybe.
12,000.
12,000. How
And
big
I
is
think-
the Meyer Garden?
Meyer Garden was
Probably.
like, did we think?
Hundreds?
No,
Thousands?
it was like 2,000 or something like
Yeah.
I
that.
don't
What
know.
was the place, Peggy, you said had like 100,000?
Van Andel Arena, which
Yeah.
it
Van
doesn't.
Andel.
It doesn't have 100,000.
It's okay.
I
Numbers
thought
don't
it
speak
did.
What?
to you,
That's
just like they don't
impossible.
speak to me.
But it's
And what
big.
is the capacity at the Vonk Bennett backyard? What's the capacity?
Yeah.
for
Oh my
that?
God,
I was
That's the
there
other.
too.
You were at that one, right?
Yeah.
Did you go to that
Yes,
one?
I did go to that
Awesome.
one.
Now that had to
Awesome.
be the highlight of the year, right?
Oh, it totally was. It was
She
so
made the
fun.
best TikTok.
You know,
or
none
maybe
of
your
us were
sister
invited,
did.
Molly. We weren't invited. You know,
You have a
we felt-
TikTok for it?
My sister actually made the
Oh.
TikTok.
Maddie?
Wait, I don't know. I might have made one.
I
Yeah,
think
but
you made it when she jumps and hits the sign. I said, like, this is what happens when your aunt and uncle host a concert or something like that. It was so hilarious.
oh yeah,
Well, we
both-
gotta see that. You gotta send that to
I gotta
us.
We'll
find
put that
it.
in the
I'll-
link in the show notes.
I'll locate it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be a good one.
That was so
Uh,
fun. That was so cool. We should have figured one out for this summer, but nobody wants to Nobody wants to play with us.
No, I know. Maybe next year.
I assume the John Mellencamp concert is the only concert you've been to with your parents.
Oh no.
Actually, I've been to every single one of these concerts with my parents. And the
Really?
first concert that I'm not going to with one or both of my parents is this J. Cole concert in Detroit.
Oh, wow. Do tell.
So,
Who
what's that like?
initiates?
My parents would
Yeah.
never come to
My
a
oh
parents
my
never,
gosh.
ever.
You should see the two of them when it's mostly the Meyer Gardens concerts. When that like list drops for the summer and then tickets are available, it's like the alarms are set in the morning. We've got 2 computers out, like the membership cards are there. It's like, who do you
Wow.
want to see? How many tickets?
I
And then
love
like
it.
there's 7 people in our family, and sometimes the tickets max out at 6. So then immediately after, my mom's like looking on to like get the 7th person their
Oh
ticket,
my
and
God,
like
that's great.
yeah, we just saw
Oh.
Houndmouth, and we only had 6 tickets, but my sister ended up being in Spain, so poor her. We couldn't go.
Yeah, poor her.
Woe is her.
Yeah, so we
Molly,
went.
what's the
I
first
actually would
concert
not
you
want to
ever
go
went to?
to a concert with my parents.
I know, it's
Like, I would-
honestly fun.
No
Melissa and Dave are
offense.
fun.
They
The
are
first
fun.
concert
They are.
I ever went to was Two Cellos. I don't know if you guys know them. My
No.
sister loved them, and it's like the first one I can really remember.
Like, how old were
it's
you?
probably like a 4th or 5th grader.
Wow.
I don't remember like where it was, but it was in like a more auditorium setting, and it's these like 2 cello players, and they like cover like pop music. So no words, just the 2 of them vibing out with their bows.
It's kind of like the
I've
They're
heard of
really
that.
good. I have them on. I
soundtrack.
listen to them when I'm working during
Yeah.
the day.
What are
They're
they
pretty
called?
cool.
It's called Two Cellos?
Two cellos.
Two cellos.
Never heard
Yeah.
of them.
They play
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Coldplay. They play all
Oh,
these
yeah.
other artists.
And
They're
my
really,
6-year-old
really
plays the
talented.
cello, so I want to take him if they're coming to Chicago.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that'd be
good
so
idea.
cool. Yeah, two
So
cellos is
Melissa
cool.
and Dave are fun. I can vouch for going to concerts with them, and you like with Shelly, it'd be totally different than going to concerts with your parents.
I just as a group, somebody in high school period, I would not want to go with with parents. I don't know. It's just a thing. Like I felt like I would
That
have
would
my
have been
life.
odd. I would
They
not
have their
gone to a
life,
concert
you know?
with
Yeah.
my parents either.
But parents
you
are
gotta turn your
different
gain
these
up.
days. Parents are friends
You
with their
just-
kids.
Keep saying it's too low.
Not
Little tiny
my
bit more.
parents were disciplinarians. Not that yours aren't, Molly, but parents are different
Well,
now than they are
so-
growing up.
Molly, we're not sure if it's just Peggy and everyone she's introduced us to in Grand Rapids,
Mhm.
or everyone in Grand Rapids. But there's a combination West Michigan nice and just incredibly cool factor to this population of people she's introduced us to that I'm constantly like, is this just how it is there, or is this just Peggy's circle?
I think it might be a little bit of both, but probably more so Peggy's circle.
Oh, nice answer.
There you go.
My favorite
Um,
niece.
Wow,
Oh,
wait till Maddie hears that.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's funny because like Peggy would have been my aunt regardless, because she and my mom were high school friends. So
I was
the
Aunt
circle has
Peg.
been growing.
Yeah. How do you
For-
feel about the fact that your dad was Peggy's prom date in high school?
Oh, God.
How
I
does that,
know. It's so
does that
incestuous.
complicate things at all for you?
Every time Peggy comes over, I get. I'm just kidding. Um,
I thought you were going to say we've never done the DNA test.
the hair.
I
Are
don't
you
think that
kidding?
works that way, John, but that's
Just for
all right.
fun. It's just for fun.
No, that was a fun revelation when I think I first heard it when I was in middle school or high school. My dad's like, my first prom date was not your mom, it was your aunt. I was like, oh, interesting.
Interesting. Oh, man.
Yeah, what do you say after that? Oh, okay.
I was like, oh. So
And
she
we got
could
a
have
lot
been
of
my mom.
mileage out of that story, which
a good one.
obviously.
Shelly, your parents have never seen John Mellencamp?
No, my parents are so unmusical. I did not grow up in a house that listened to music. Like we had Mac Davis VHS.
Oh, yeah.
We had the Doobie
yeah.
Brothers. I'm trying to think. That's it. But music wasn't like I have music on almost 24/7 in this house or in my ears or something. And
Quickly, what is Mac Davis's biggest hit, Shelly?
That's a tough one. You put her on the spot. That's not
Yeah,
Well,
fair.
baby,
I-
baby, don't get hooked on me. Come on, baby,
I can
baby,
tell
don't get
you,
hooked on
Glenn
me.
Campbell was the Rhinestone Cowboy because that was
Yes.
another big.
Well, yes, that was his
Right?
biggest hit. You know
But-
what Mac Davis
couldn't do it.
really should be in jail for is that he wrote the song "In the Ghetto" for Elvis Presley.
Oh,
He should really be in prison
Shocking.
for that.
How do you know that, Jim? Wow.
Because I listen
Really?
to music all the time.
Yeah, but that's
I came home
like that's music.
Friday night after we
Yeah.
recorded the podcast. I went out and I worked out at the gym, and I came home and I stayed up till like 2:00 in the morning just listening to music.
What do you do? Just lie there with your eyes closed? Or what do you
No, I
like,
actually keep my eyes open, but yes, I was mostly in my bedroom when I was doing it. Sure,
you're
yeah.
just eyes open looking at the ceiling? Or like, what are you doing?
You know, I'm thinking about stuff.
Or maybe I don't
listening to
wanna
music.
know.
What do you do when you
Speakers.
listen to music? Don't you ever listen to music?
Yeah, but I'm multitasking. I'm cooking.
I think
Well, I
that's-
often do that too, but
I think
I was
that's
listening to
impressive,
music while I
Jim.
was working out, so I just was in a groove and I just kept.
It's one thing to listen to the music like you just described. It's another to know that little tidbit about Mac Davis, and I
Shelly,
mean that's
you
a
should find-
factoid.
Now, I am full of useless information.
I know you
Any
are.
useful information I do not have, but useless information.
That's more than just listening to music. That's like digging into the artists and
What can I
all of
say?
that.
What can I say? I used to have a good memory.
Used to.
I'm not. Yeah, my
my
memory's
God.
deteriorating rapidly.
Oh,
By the way, what is your
Jim.
name?
My memory's deteriorating. I want Molly to put the name of that Audra in the or
I
Audrey
got
Hobart.
you. Audrey Hobart.
Hobart
cool.
because I got to listen to that.
Which reminds me,
Hobert.
although she is not here tonight because she has a family obligation, Beth Shannon was kind enough to let me know that I needed to make a retraction because I mispronounced someone's name on the recent podcast I did with John and Jamie, our friend Jamie. I said Zendaya instead of Zendaya. So
Mm-mm.
I heartily apologize to Zendaya for mispronouncing her name. And if you want to come on the podcast, I'll apologize to you in person.
We all will.
Let's get Zendaya on here.
Yeah. that'd be-
Also, I have to make another retraction or correction, which is for years, I've been telling people that I first met Peggy Bennett at a party in Philadelphia. But after talking to John and Peggy about this when I was in Grand Rapids, it's now apparent I had met her before that.
yeah.
So I've been screwing that up for years.
I stayed at your house. I slept on your floor.
Right. And I thought that was after, but now it's apparent that I was wrong about that.
It was
so
before, for
I
sure.
and also, yes, I think that's all. the
Those were
corrections.
early days when Peggy and you were in wildly different worlds of mine, and really they
Well,
never met.
Yes.
But Peggy and
Yes.
you were so open to new experiences that the worlds merged.
And you, John,
I don't
are
know what that means, John.
you're a
but okay.
merger of worlds. You're the epic person who just tells somebody to be like, "Oh, my friend John, he lives in Amsterdam.
And he
If
was
you're going
heavily
to-
drugged at the time.
just
too.
call
That's
him.
the
He'll
other
show you a good
Cool.
time." And you just randomly show strangers a good time, and then the next thing you know, you're all best friends. So yeah, you're the merger of worlds for sure.
And it is
Great.
also, you guys may know this already, but the first real conversation / argument John and I had was in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
No way.
It was
We-
at
well-
Pecking Axe
well-
tournament.
What
We
year?
talked
I was
before.
gonna-
You know what I'm
I
talking
thought-
about.
I thought that was the running out of gas story.
No,
Okay,
no.
that
The
was
first time we ever really had a conversation / argument was
Oh,
about
yeah.
the movie The Breakfast Club.
The
in
Breakfast
Grand
Club.
Rapids,
Yeah, I remember that
Michigan.
vividly. It was about
Yes.
Breakfast Club in Grand Rapids at Becky Knack's house in front of the. Yeah,
No, I
remember
think
that.
it was. Well, it
Oh,
was
it
at
wasn't
the
her
house
house.
or at the tournament. I don't know,
At the
but
What
tournament,
year?
yeah.
That's
What
where it
year
was.
approximately?
That was in the spring of 1994.
Wow, that was a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, I remember because Dave and Sarah and George and Armands and Rachel and I'm sorry, Rachel and what's Rachel's partner's name?
Kristen.
Kristen. We're all juniors, and so that's the year we met. And then the next year we hung out a lot during that senior year. That is the year John coached 2 different teams to win like 2 different national
I
championships.
called the Facebook. I called Breakfast Club. I think the best movie ever made.
Yes, or something like that.
Something along those lines.
Yes.
At the time.
It was
So-
a debate tournament. I just went for it.
Yes.
Molly, do you
I
think
won't
it-
embarrass you by telling the ridiculous argument you were making on the way home from the Mellencamp concert where you went way too far out on a ledge, but we won't talk because
I don't remember that.
You You were
What was
drunk.
the argument that we were? I was not drunk. I was overserved. But there was a what was the argument that we had when we ran out of gas in Michigan?
Oh, I can't remember what we were talking about.
Oh,
that was just a normal.
We argue a
normal
lot,
conversation.
Molly. So we
Well,
argued so much that we just
argue,
we drove until
had-
we ran out of gas.
This is
on
how the
Interstate
podcast
94.
got started because people are like, you should put that on the podcast. Should you argue? Like people like Ted would watch us argue for like 45 minutes about something. And when we say argue, but in friendly argue, like no animosity, but just heated, but strong.
You've hurt my
passionate.
feelings more than once.
Oh,
So I don't want to get into that. I want to ask Molly. I want
Yeah.
to say to
Yeah,
Molly.
ask
stay to
Molly.
the topic. Stay to the topic.
Don't you?
on
Well, I
topic.
do. It is about Jim and John, so they'll be happy. But don't you think it's weird that Jim was from basically Washington, D.C., and John was from Chicago, and they met in Grand Rapids?
No, we didn't meet in Grand Rapids.
Or your first conversation was
First
in Grand.
real argument conversation.
And what is Grand Rapids? It's like nothing. And
It's
it's
'cause it
supposed to
was,
be a
no,
90s
no,
It was
no.
a
film.
debate tournament.
East Grand Rapids High School has quite the debate team.
It did.
Nationally.
It did.
Nationally
Not
ranked.
anymore,
It did.
but it did
It
at the
did.
time.
Nationally
just-
ranked.
Yes, absolutely.
It's such
Um,
a funny spot.
It is so bizarre.
Molly, when did
that
you leave Connecticut?
2016. I was an 8th grader.
8th grade. Oh, so you came
Wait,
to
I was
Grand
heading
Rapids for
into-
high school.
Yeah, I was in Grand Rapids for all of high school and 8th grade.
So,
Oh, you
could,
switched
how
eighth
badly
grade?
did COVID fuck up your high school experience?
Ooh, pretty bad.
Yeah.
It was
You graduated what,
heading-
21?
Yeah, I was heading into my, it was junior year, I remember, and I was, asking my science teacher, do you think we're going to come back from spring break? And he was like, I think we'll get, another week off of for spring break, and then we never went
Optimism.
back
Very
after
much
spring break,
optimism.
junior year, and then my entire senior year, it was, I was a dancer, so, we were dancing
You didn't
with
come back at all
masks
senior
on.
year? You were
I
online?
mean, They divided us in the alphabet, so, A through, maybe P was, Monday, Tuesday,
Oh.
and then P through Z was Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday was just hybrid
I'm
online.
guessing it
for
was not
everybody.
A through P because that sounds like a lot of people in the A through P thing. But
Maybe
Well,
it was to
depends on the
M,
distribution of names.
Maybe, I don't know.
most
Well,
of
that's
it was
also- that
distributed,
detail doesn't
distributed
matter.
earlier in the alphabet, John. Let me.
Why are we
There's
talking
not a
about
lot
that
of people
detail?
with U, V, W, Z last names.
Yeah, so I was the only person in
These
school.
Yes, it was
No.
only for Vonk. They
It
had
was only
one
for
whole
Vonk.
period for
That was
Vonk,
it.
right?
So do
Yeah,
you
it was crazy.
when your family left Connecticut and you were going into 8th grade, did you have some angst about that? Were you so annoyed with your parents that they
Well-
uprooted you, or were you cool with it?
I was cool with it until literally the first day of school, which is also kind of funny because Uncle Charlie, as in Peggy and Charlie, was my vice principal for 8th grade.
Oh,
So I had
got
that
it.
comfort of going to school, but it really hit me once I was going to lunch and I'm sitting there with my little lunchbox.
Oh, you didn't have
And I'm
anybody to eat with.
I'm sitting in a sea of faces that I've not a single one I recognize.
Sure.
I'm where can I sit? And
Sure.
nobody's like, hey, sit here. So
Sure.
I'm I literally sat one butt cheek on the end of a lunch table. And I'm looking around and everybody has these
Worst.
Vera Bradley lunch boxes. And I'm sitting there with whatever lunchbox I had that was not Vera Bradley. And I came home that day and I was like, Mom, I need a Vera Bradley lunchbox right now.
It's like,
So why
That's
didn't you
awesome.
go? Why didn't you have
Good
lunch with
memory.
Uncle Charlie? Why didn't you eat lunch with Uncle Charlie?
He probably was disciplining someone, but that did cross my mind. I could have just found my way into the office. And I did eventually find times where I just was like, I'm going to go to my Uncle Charlie's room.
When
Yeah.
did you start dancing?
Oh, I started dancing when I was 3 was the first dance classes I was put in. And I
Wow.
continued dancing and also playing soccer. But then when I was playing soccer, I was cartwheeling on the field and doing little spins in the net and stuff. So we cut off soccer and then just went head on into dance. And I did dance all the way up until my sophomore year of college. And then I realized that I wanted a maybe more kind of practical career
Oh, poor
trajectory.
thing. I wish you had
but
been
there
a
was,
dancer.
I know.
If you
because
had
there
been a
was a-
dancer, you would have had to move to New York. You realize?
I know.
To be a
And
dancer.
then that's
Oh
just
yeah,
so
and that's such a horrible
expensive.
thing.
Yeah, I know. It's almost as bad as Madison, Wisconsin. What kind of
Almost.
dance?
How
Almost as bad.
what kind of dance?
All of it. My favorite was like contemporary, modern, lyrical, kind of
Alvin
the
Ailey, that
slower.
kind of stuff.
Yeah, and then I also really liked tap for a while.
Oh, interesting.
Jazz was always fun, hip hop.
So did
I
you
did
want to go when your parents sent you to the 3-year-old stuff, or do you remember, or did you just
I
go? Was it just
I
expect?
just I think
John
I
is
just
trying to decide
went.
whether you should put Ren and Beck in
No,
dance
my
class.
6-year-old Ren dances all the time. He
Good.
just
Oh, that's
dances. He's
awesome.
dancing.
Fantastic.
We want us, and I've been trying to find in Chicago a dance instructor for him because I
Yeah.
don't know what to do. But you
Of
can send him
course,
to
there's
this.
a
Yeah,
big
I'm sure.
Yeah,
The
I-
Joffrey Ballet has
I
like
know.
a young thing for young kids, but it's all girls. It's and the it's
Mm-mm.
and I it's like I don't
Bet
and
it's
he doesn't
not.
I don't care. He doesn't care, but it also like just it doesn't nothing seems to work. I can't figure it
Yeah.
out. And it's all like hip hop dance classes too for the young kids that I'm finding. So I didn't know if like I don't know, maybe in
I mean,
Connecticut they had
I
like
don't-
really good ballet
yeah.
for 3-year-old
I think the
girls.
idea
Yeah.
behind dance classes for kids that age is just to get them into dancing. It
Get
doesn't
them
really matter
moving.
what kind of dancing they're doing.
Yeah. I think I got into it because my sister was doing it. And so because my mom was dealing with 5 of us, it was just easier to do the same things. So like my sister was
Okay.
going to dance classes and then I went to dance classes, but kind of funny, it ended up becoming like my thing. And then she found other things within the arts that she enjoyed, and dance was just like I was dancing. Probably got to a point where I was dancing like 20 to 30 hours a week in high school. So
Weren't you a dance major at first at college?
I was minoring in dance and I thought about
Minor.
doing
Okay.
movement psychology or movement therapy with being a child life specialist. So many different things where I was like, I want to do this, I want to
Cool.
do that, I want to do this, but
Cool.
there's only so much time.
The being a serious dancer, that is a lot on your body. There's a lot of punishment on your body,
Yeah,
right?
it's intense. I can remember like my legs would just be like bruised from like knee down. And I'm like, how did I even get half these bruises? And then you like are so sore the next day after like an intense dance rehearsal, and you're like, I didn't even know that I had muscles like there. Like, yeah, it's intense. It's rough on the body. I don't know how long I would have been able to do it if I really like pursued it as a full-time thing.
My husband really wants Ren to be a professional dancer. I mean, like, it's just like, and the thing that's abundantly clear is it's one of those things, you know, like I say I want to be a writer, and the only reason I'm not a really good writer, the reason I say I want to be a writer is because you can be like 75 and be a young writer. But if you're a dancer or like, I don't know, a tennis player, if you're over
Yeah.
20, it's over. You're
You're
done.
No,
It's
that's a
yeah.
little exaggeration, but it is a young person.
But it's young person thing, and it's just like it's gonna go so fast. It's like God, you
Yeah.
can work and get a job the rest of your life. Go do something fabulous in the arts.
Right.
I went to
if they
a
want
fair
to
amount
do it,
of
that's fine. Yeah.
Molly's recitals once she moved to
Yeah.
Grand Rapids, and there were always boys in there. John, I'm sure
Yeah.
you can
Yeah, I
Where
find
need
did
him.
help
you
actually with this.
Where did you live in Connecticut, Molly?
We lived in Brookfield, Connecticut. Small little town. The bigger town that people would maybe know is Danbury,
Yeah,
Connecticut. It's kind of the same area.
it's not that far.
Mm-mm.
Do people from Danbury take the train to New York for work?
I
I don't have a sense of Connecticut. I don't really understand. Like,
definitely.
I don't know what suburban New
I don't
York is
know.
versus other state.
I don't know how
I
many
can't-
people still do that, but back in the day, that was definitely Danbury
Okay.
and Darien and Stamford.
Yeah.
All those places, people took the train. People probably took the train from New Haven to come to New York to work. Probably
Yeah.
back in the day.
Hmm.
I don't know how many people still do it now because of remote work and stuff. You know, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I saw the Martha Stewart special on Netflix where she basically slams James Comey and she slams her first husband. But the reason she had the property she has in Connecticut, I think, is that it was the absolute last stop. She says this in the show. It was the absolute last stop where the train would go where you could commute into New York for work because that was what her ex-husband did. And so I don't know where the hell that is, but it's in Connecticut because I remember her saying it. It's somewhere, but it's it seemed when I think I looked it up at the time because I'm a nerd. I watch shows and I pull out Google Maps and pull out like, where is that? I'm multitasking because my ADD.
Mhm.
And I remember thinking that's really far. That's like really far from New York. So I don't really. I guess I don't even have a sense of how much of Connecticut is what percentage of Connecticut is not suburban New York City? Like, I don't really have. I mean, it sounds crazy, but it seems so megalopolisly.
I
I can't
know.
even grasp
I
it.
feel like it goes from like suburban New York City to like coastal, like
Right.
yeah.
Right. That's crazy. I mean, so yeah, that had to be a big change because I talk about moving kids all the time and I talk
Yeah.
about going places with my kids. And I'm like, I used to be so cavalier about saying, oh, kids can go anywhere. And now with my 6-year-old, I'm like, he doesn't want to change. He just wants to stay wherever he is. Whatever he's doing is the thing he wants to do the rest of his life. And he's like very happy. And he has friends and
Yeah.
I just can't imagine moving in 8th grade.
It
That's
gets
gotta be tough.
harder when they get older too. That gets very
Yeah.
hard. Yeah.
That's what I'm figuring.
Yeah. It worked for me, honestly. I think I'm better off over here than I would have been in Connecticut with the friend groups and the drama that ended up happening there. I mean,
Oh, tell us.
I just remember like we moved right at a point where like, I mean, I was gonna be going into high school.
Yeah.
So friend groups were breaking off. Lunch tables, you only could have 8 people at a table, and if you had 9, the lunch lady people would tell you that's too many chairs. So you were like
Everybody
separated.
was worried about being the 9th person.
Exactly. So it was like you had to find your group. And I
Wow.
remember not being invited to someone's birthday party right before school ended, and I was like, you know what? I'm moving, so I don't care. Bye, guys.
Wow.
Wow.
Yes. It's always good to have that out, that escape route.
Exactly.
I mean, can you make cultural comparisons between Connecticut and Grand Rapids?
Yeah, I would say that there's definitely more than there are not. It's hard for me to remember because my memory has done this thing where everything's blended. Like, I'll see someone walking around campus even, and I'm like, do I know you from high school? Do I know you from, you look like this person that I think I knew in Connecticut, but like, it's all kind of like fizzling away. It's reminding me of like Inside Out when they're filing away the like memories that are too old, and it's like, where are those going?
Do you still keep up with anybody that you were friends with in Connecticut?
There are very few. There's like really close family friends that I keep up with, but other than that, no, honestly.
I'm actually going to bring it back to John Mellencamp for a second
John,
because I
come
was
back.
just looking at my
Point of the
pictures.
podcast.
So yeah, and I saw that picture that somebody took of him on the big screen.
Yeah.
I thought he looked fit. And I betcha, don't you think all these people, when they go on a big tour like that, they work out? Because that's a lot of work to do that live performing.
Totally.
Particularly for a 74-year-old man who
Yeah.
That's the
smokes like
thing is
30
working out.
cigarettes a
like-
day.
Yeah.
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 He looked good. And he had good energy. And I guess I don't have a question, but then all of a sudden now I'm thinking about this. So there's this noise ordinance, and I don't know what time the concert has to be over, but he made this announcement like, oh, they're telling me I only have 5 minutes left. and
Yeah.
F that. And he played for 15 more minutes. Do you guys think that these artists should be held to these noise ordinances? Do they think that the venue should have the ability to just turn the lights out when they because then the neighbors are all pissed off because it's so loud? And
I think the
Is it
band
really
gets
anybody that close to the arena, that amphitheater,
thought
that
it
would
was an
complain?
industrial.
There is-
I thought it was
people
an
are
industrial
complaining.
neighborhood.
No,
There
people are
is-
complaining like crazy.
in
There's an
Indianapolis.
entire
There's
apartment
one.
building.
Yeah, there. I mean,
Really?
in some places there certainly. I don't know about Grand Rapids, but in Indianapolis there is, and there's strict, 11 o'clock kind of thing. And then if the band doesn't follow it, they get fined. The band get
Mm.
fined, pretty hefty.
Yeah, isn't it like for like every single minute they're
Yeah.
fined a certain amount of
Okay.
it's nuts.
Yeah.
So maybe he got fined.
I mean, it is. I did notice when we went to the venue, I was like, wow, this venue is in the middle of bloody Grand Rapids on the river, like right in the center of town. And I did think for myself, in Chicago, I mean, there are some of those. The only one that's like that in Chicago, I mean, other than Soldier Field, which
Which is
I guess
where
I don't know if you
we
could-
got to watch Taylor Swift from the balcony of your
The
apartment one time.
I saw all of her shows that year because I watched off the balcony and I could see the stage. But Northernly Island is an island. I mean, it's the old Meigs Field. It's a peninsula. It's off into the lake. So they have shows there. That's outdoor. They're outdoors. But otherwise, they don't really have any. I mean, massive outdoor venues. But I don't. I mean, I got to think that this is where the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few or the one in this one. I'm sorry, but it's a great venue.
I think
A lot of people are getting happy. A few people.
yeah.
I'm sorry, it's one night. Suck it up.
People who complain about that should move to New York City for a week.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. That
I mean,
clear it up.
See how quiet that is.
But some of these venues, John, are every weekend.
Yeah, it's
throughout
not.
the
That's
summer. It's
true.
not
Not
one
one
night.
night.
Yeah.
True.
New
Monday,
York City,
Thursday,
every
Friday,
night
Saturday.
there's somebody yelling on my street louder than the venue. Let me tell you,
Louder than
Yeah.
you right now? Because
louder than
right.
right now. I
My
can't
ears
even
are-
compete with these people.
my ears are bleeding all of a
I'm
sudden.
sorry.
We're going to work on it.
Wait a
Now
minute. Before we
figured it out.
go, I have something to share with you guys. If we're wrapping up.
We're wrapping
not.
up. We're wrapping up.
Okay, we're wrapping up.
Well, I wanted to actually ask one more question.
Ask one
Oh,
more
good.
question.
So
Turn your
this
gain
was
down
like
a little, Jim. Tiny
this
bit.
was like a
Tiny bit.
greatest hits tour, and he played so many songs. I don't know how many,
Mhm.
26 or
25.
something. Do we like this when do we
Yes.
want these old guys, old musicians to just play their hits?
Oh,
and
Yes,
Yes.
100%.
Okay.
That's the reason we go.
I know, but
new
we
stuff.
also want as them to support them as musicians and to have this opportunity to share their new stuff. And maybe
So-
it's good, but none of us give it a try.
Yes.
I think
All
at
those things are
that-
true, Peg. All those things are true. When I agreed to go to this on this podcast and said get a ticket for me, I had zero intention of going.
I know. I
was
knew
like,
it.
I was like, the odds that it's going to work out that I'm going to make it to
We were-
Grand Rapids on a random
We
summer
were, but
weekend.
we were making
there was
bets
no chance.
up
But
through
I was like, what
Friday
the hell? Buy a
afternoon
ticket
about
for
whether or
me
not
and make
you were
it
actually
happen.
gonna show
Buy a
up.
ticket. Just do it at a lark. And then just whatever. The fates intervened and it turned out that it was great for a whole bunch of reasons. But having said all that, I was there and I really didn't think I was going to like the show either. I was like, whatever, I get to see you guys and I'm going to be very happy about it. It's going to be fun. I mean, first of all, I hadn't eaten and I did get overserved, so I had a really fun time.
You
But
were yelling. You were hoarse.
But I knew every lyric to every song.
It was
I
so
didn't
fun.
know I knew every
Yeah,
lyric to
comes
every song.
back
I had
quickly,
no
doesn't
idea I
Yeah.
knew every lyric to every song. And I don't think that, and maybe we've talked about this before, but I don't think that's happening anymore. Like that era of fame where you were played on every radio station in America
All the
and
time.
maybe in Europe and North Africa too is gone. I
No,
mean, that
it's
is
not.
over.
You're wrong. You're
Well,
wrong.
it feels like
It's happening.
it
It's
feels
not
like
happening
you
on
don't have
radio
those.
stations, but you could say the same
Well,
thing.
you don't have those numbers that kind of
Taylor
fame anymore. I
Swift,
feel like it's more. I feel like it's more
Beyonce,
diverse.
people like
There's a
that.
couple.
Same
There's
thing.
a couple. I don't.
There's always.
I'd
there's
love
more
to
than
weigh
that.
that.
There's
analysis.
more than that. You just
I'd
don't.
love to. All right.
I think
All
the
right, fair
difference, John, is in my opinion, is people aren't listening necessarily to the W7.5 or whatever number in Grand Rapids, Molly. I don't know the numbers either. I don't know the
97.9 WGRD.
But I
WGRD.
think there's more avenues to listen.
Yeah.
So there's Spotify, there's Amazon Music, there's
YouTube.
Apple TV, there's YouTube, there's all these different avenues where in the 80s it was the radio.
Yeah.
Or you bought a CD or you bought
Yeah.
whatever is coming. And so I
Exactly.
think you
Exactly
kept
correct.
hearing the songs over and over again because the avenue to listen was narrower. That's what I think.
It's possibly true, but there's a lot. There's people right now that are as big, and 20 years from now they'll be doing the same thing.
But I'd argue that the reason that we had that we heard it on the radio and we bought the CDs and we saw the shows on MTV was because of the chokehold that Hollywood studios had on the industry and how there's we can go back to payola days, but I'm sorry, I feel like the industry did it. And for better or for worse, Jim, the idea of the internet was supposed to be that it was going to democratize content a little bit. And maybe that hasn't happened entirely. And I'd argue there are still some very, very famous people and maybe even more famous when they become famous on a global level that they never could have before, right? The way software could. But the internet did democratize content somewhat. There are avenues for little producers. Hello, look at these people right now doing this podcast, getting stuff out and people listen and watch. And it is fragmented in a way that it wasn't 30, 40 years ago. It just isn't. There's no comparison. You can't. I mean, maybe it's. I'm not saying it's absolute, but there's no question it's more fragmented, and there's been a little bit of democratization, and that means I think there was
avenues.
Unanimity of there was more unanimity of content
I
that
don't
we
think
all
there's
listened
any
to back
evidence
then,
to support
before it was
that.
called content.
There's no evidence to support that.
Lots.
Well, listen for a second. So Billboard has been charting the most popular songs for almost 100 years. Now the most popular songs stay popular longer than they did back in the day. So that would run against your theory. There are more avenues for people to get their content out, and that's a great thing. But in terms of, are there really big stars where people Molly's age and younger know all the words? Yeah, there are. There are tons of them.
One of the highlights for me for the whole event was how much Molly enjoyed it and what a fun night we all had together.
It was
so
fun.
beautiful, and the sunset was
Oh my
so
God.
It was a
great.
gorgeous evening.
And I love that
Gorgeous.
afterwards when Molly texted me and said, I had so much fun and I loved meeting your friends, and that just warmed me. It was just
It
the
was
whole
so
thing
fun.
it all worked out. So we missed
So
you, Shelly,
full
but
circle.
Yes. I was on a
Yes.
beach, and I didn't miss you people. Because I was on the
Yeah,
beach.
you're in the Cayman
But
Islands. Let's be honest.
I'm sorry that I missed what sounded like a wonderful concert,
Was
and
fun.
I'm sure I missed out on a lot of
It
fun.
sounds like we got Mellencamp when he was in a better mood than when you saw him.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
And his show was canceled after that, right? Because of the weather or the smoke.
There was
the smoke,
yeah.
The Canadian wildfire smoke coming down. It was.
I saw Bare Naked Ladies, who are from Canada, a week later, and Ed Robertson, the guy, was patter in between one of the songs, said, "Do you ever get that feeling when you leave the house like you left something on? You know what I'm talking about?" He said, "I feel like when I left Canada, I left like 10,000 fires burning."
That's kind of terrible, but funny.
Yeah.
It fits with all Bare Naked Ladies. Listen, I was listening to a podcast which has a slightly larger audience than ours, Amy Poehler's, and she was talking to her friend Tina Fey, because she does this thing which she calls talking well behind people's back, which is before she has the main guest on, she has a Zoom with someone and talks about the guests and like and her friend Tina Fey, who she was calling Betty, by the way. And I wonder if that's really what she calls her, or if that's what they put on for the podcast. Anyway, that was kind of interesting. Tina Fey came up with this game to play. So since she's not here tonight, we're going to play this game about Beth Shannon. We're going to play this game as a way of talking well behind her back. There are 4 questions. Molly, you can play if you want to. Just throw in anything you want. I know you don't really know Beth. You met her at the concert.
I did.
But here we go. If Beth were a color, and you could all give different answers, or you can agree on an answer, whatever you want. If Beth were a color, what color would she be? Go ahead, John. Everybody.
Burnt orange.
Shelly?
Blue.
Yellow.
I
Molly?
was going to say green.
Okay, so we have 4 different colors. If Beth were a breakfast food, what breakfast food would she be?
A bagel with lox.
Anybody else?
It'd be like the 2 eggs meal with bacon, and you get to choose your toast, and you get jam.
Denver
Definitely
skillet.
get to choose your toast. Yes,
I would say a waffle.
John.
A Denver skillet.
Whoa. Okay, very specific.
You guys
Now,
are making me hungry.
If we gave her the following choice, which would she choose? If she could only read books she's read before and not read anything new, or only read new books and not reread anything she's read before, which would she choose?
Only read new books.
New books.
New books.
New books.
Okay, everybody agrees on that. And the final question is, if Beth were a holiday, which holiday would she be?
Ooh,
Thanksgiving.
Good question.
Because she travels on Thanksgiving.
Peggy says Thanksgiving.
Just for proximity reason, I guess I'm going to say 4th of July, because I see her like as 4th of July.
I'll go Christmas.
Christmas. Aw.
I've got no idea.
You've got no idea. Say Labor Day.
Pick Groundhog
Labor
Day.
Yes,
Pick
Labor
Labor
Day.
Day. All right, that's our quiz. Beth, you should always not skip the podcast, because then we wouldn't be able to talk like this about you behind
She's
your
going to
back.
have to tell us what she thinks her answer should be.
Well,
Or
we
we
will
should
ask her
ask
the
her.
next
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
We'll
Okay,
ask
and
her.
if she hasn't listened to this, yeah, she'll
She'll
have to do it
listen because
cold.
she's not on. She'll listen to this one because she's not on, right? She always listens if she's not on.
It's true.
I guess that's it. Molly, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, it was
Thanks
And,
for having me.
We'll be sure to tell Maddie that you have displaced her as Peggy's favorite niece. I'm sure we'll have Maddie back on to discuss that soon.
And
Thank
yeah,
you all for
have
listening
fun
to
in
this.
Wisconsin.
Yeah,
Good
good
luck.
luck at
You're
school.
gonna love it.
Envy,
Thanks,
We are
guys.
putting
positive
out
energy.
so much content. We just did a podcast which is already released, which we recorded 2 days ago. John and I with our good friend Jamie Hawk, and we're going to be doing more. Please, we're available on all sorts of platforms. Please, if you listen to us and you like what you hear, rate us on those platforms. But most importantly, as the great Karina Longworth always says on her podcast, if you like our podcast, tell anyone you know, any way you can, how much you enjoyed our podcast. Because word of mouth is really the best way. And get that Patreon subscription so you can hear the extra special stuff on Patreon. We'll be back soon. Goodbye.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Goodbye.